This is Nightline.
Tonight, the latest on the Idaho college murders.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening.
The case against Brian Kohberger, the criminology PhD student accused of and denying the horrific slayings of 4 friends and housemates. The new details we're learning tonight.
Prosecutors want to use Brian Kohberger's own homework. They're saying that the information as to how to make sure you don't have DNA behind or fingerprints could be a roadmap to the murders in this case.
And why prosecutors say this selfie was taken just hours after the murders. Plus, New York City's hottest club closes at 10 p.m. With partygoers dancing to hits like Prince's Let's Go Crazy before the sun even sets. The stress-free zones that keep the fun and functional.
I can be home, wash my face, and still get 8 hours of sleep.
Why parties like this are selling out.
This is not just a dance party, this is a movement.
And Nightline over New York, the landmark Empire State Building, illuminated in Nightline's honor.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, new court filings released just today in the Idaho college murder case that's horrified the nation. Brian Kohberger charged with brutally murdering 4 friends and college roommates in an off-campus home, denying all charges. What the new evidence could mean for his upcoming trial. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening.
It was a crime so brutal that every new detail brings fresh shock.
Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
From the frantic 911 calls,
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night.
to this selfie. Released in court records, prosecutors say the suspect took it just hours after allegedly stabbing 4 students to death. Now in a trove of new court documents about Brian Kohberger, the criminology PhD student accused in the quadruple murders of 4 University of Idaho students at their now demolished off-campus home.
It's been 2.5 years since the horrific murders in Idaho. And since then, we've seen silence that has led to drips of information captivating us all as we await the trial.
Those court filings include this 12-page paper Kohberger allegedly wrote in 2020 at DeSales University, where he was earning his master's in criminal justice. Kohberger allegedly describing how he'd investigate a deadly crime scene, reminding himself to avoid contaminating the scene with latent fingerprints. And of the hypothetical female victim, the paper asks, are there multiple stab wounds? And theorizes, is there any sign of forced entry to the home? If there's not, it may be suggested that the woman knew her killer.
Prosecutors want to use Brian Kohberger's own homework, and they're saying that the information as to how to make sure you don't have DNA behind or fingerprints could be a roadmap to the murders in this case.
Authorities say the students were killed with a K-bar knife like this one seen in an image from Amazon, and they say Kohberger purchased one like it from the site 8 months prior to the murders. His defense pushing back, noting the Amazon records reflect a household of users with items purchased over a period of several months for a road trip or hiking.
The murder weapon in this case has never been found, and prosecutors say they have witnesses that will testify that he's the one that bought that knife.
Prosecutors also sharing this never-before-seen image drawn by the surviving roommate in the days after the murders, who told authorities she saw a man in a mask in the house that night. The defense arguing the roommate only drew the mask that way after a detective showed her a picture of one. For the last 2 years, the murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin have gripped the nation. Brian Kohberger was arrested nearly 7 weeks after the murders. Lawyers for the alleged killer say he's innocent. These new court documents adding to the evidence already released, helping paint a picture of what allegedly happened on November 12, 2022. That night, Kaylee and Maddie, newly 21 and lifelong best friends, went to a popular campus bar around 10 p.m. They're later seen at the grub truck, laughing and ordering food. This video appears to be the last time they were seen alive. Authorities say their roommate Xana and her boyfriend Ethan, both 20, were at a fraternity party earlier that same night, arriving home around 1:45 a.m. There's 3 stories to the house. Kaylee and Maddie were together in Maddie's room on the 3rd floor. Kaylee's dog Murphy was alone in Kaylee's bedroom just down the hall. Ethan was staying over that night in Xana's room, which was on the second floor. One of the other roommates in the house also on the second floor, and one in a bedroom on the first floor.
Everything was so normal in that home on King Road. Nobody could have imagined it was about to become a house of horror.
Police responding to a 911 call just before noon, hours after law enforcement say the murders happened.
This is a brutal crime scene. These victims were not shot. They were stabbed to death.
What was baffling to police, they say, is that it didn't appear that there was any forced entry. It doesn't appear that any of the victims had been sexually assaulted.
And weeks later, Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania.
Last night, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohberger.
And since his arrest, prosecutors have maintained that surveillance footage, cell phone records, and DNA evidence link Kohberger to the murders. The linchpin, Kohberger's own DNA.
We're not just talking about his DNA happened to be found in, a dresser drawer or something. It was found on a knife sheath where 4 people were killed by a knife. This is as crime scene as it gets.
But Kohberger's attorneys have tried to have that crucial DNA evidence dismissed, claiming it was unlawfully obtained using public genealogy websites.
If you can upload one of these profiles for $12 and find out all kinds of information, how is that not a Fourth Amendment issue? And that was done twice without a warrant in this case.
Kohberger's attorneys also argued that authorities violated the law when they used a garbage collector to retrieve trash from the Kohberger family home. It's in a gated neighborhood in Pennsylvania, and according to his lawyers, they did it without a warrant. The FBI allegedly using the garbage to make that DNA match.
I think it is different when you have the FBI telling the trash man what to do.
But prosecutors have argued all the facets of the investigation, including the DNA and the use of public genealogy databases, were done properly.
The issue is that no one sharing this information with millions of other people could have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
And the judge siding with the state, allowing the DNA evidence to be presented to the jury. For the family and loved ones of the victims, the years-long nightmare continues. All they have left to hold on to are their memories.
Kaylee is like the definition of sunshine.
To know Kaylee was to love Kaylee.
If I had 1 or 2 words to describe Maddie Mae, it would be just an angel. She just made me proud.
Kohberger's jury trial is slated to begin in August. The 2 surviving roommates are expected to testify, and if convicted, he could face the death penalty.
Our thanks to Kana. We'll, of course, continue to follow this case as it unfolds. And when we come back, meet the women who still like to party as long as they're in bed by 11. The play hard, sleep hard sensation that's sweeping the nation.
Happy 45th anniversary, Nightline. Amazing.
Welcome back. They call themselves the Earlybirds, the dance party for ladies who have, stuff to do in the morning. It's a let-loose celebration where come as you are is the idea and dance like no one's watching is the rule. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Do we want to wear Gucci? Awesome. Why not? Let's go.
It's 5 p.m. on a Saturday in New York City, and Coco Oveda is getting ready for a night out.
This is a time during the day where I'm like, ooh, I had a great brunch with friends. What's next? And there's this little kind of energy drop, which is not where you want it.
She's 53 years old and still loves to party.
I have to tell you, this is the party where you leave your high heels at home.
But tonight, she's heading to an event that starts before the sun even goes down.
I grew up during an era in America where MTV was launched. I have been dancing to this music that I call real.
And here, the tunes are tailor-made for her age group. Like this song, the 1985 German synth pop hit, Rock Me Amadeus by Falco.
What's great about this party is the start time. I can be home, wash my face, and still get 8 hours of sleep.
It's called the Earlybirds Club, and the message here is simple. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you have to stop having a good time.
I don't usually have nights out like this anymore. I'm a mom and have lots of responsibilities and other things going on.
When I see women in their 60s just getting down, it's like a role model for how you can just let loose and have fun at any age.
Earlybirds co-founder Laura Baginski wanted to design a space for reliving your youth without feeling the aches and pains of a late night the next day.
It starts at 6 and ends at 10.
That's perfect. Have dinner and then let's go party.
That's right. It tapped into something that a lot of women our age were feeling. You probably dealt with some stuff in your life, you know, maybe caring for an older parent, kids, career. And so when you're in this space and you can just let it all out, it brings you back to that person maybe before all this stuff happened.
Gen X, getting the chance to relive some of their favorite John Hughes movie moments, like this one from 16 Candles. Or this one from The Breakfast Club. The 80s Earlybirds night theme topped off with neon wristbands, Jane Fonda's workout video on repeat on the walls, one of the more popular drinks, the hot flash.
They have the hot flash?
I was like, this isn't a scene. You're not getting dressed up to wow anyone. One woman wore like running shorts and a sports bra, and I was like, you understand.
You got it.
Laura is a Gen Xer based in Chicago. At the turntable, Helene Lee, aka DJ H-Bomb.
How did the idea hit you?
The opportunities given to middle-aged women are like Pilates, like book clubs, which
can be great.
Which is great, no shade. But I wanted more than that.
So Laura teamed up with her best friend, Susie Lee, who's also Helene's cousin.
Susie's story is that she has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. She knows not to waste any time. If you've got a good idea, do it, because we've got this one time on Earth and you can't squander any opportunity.
This is Susie at the Earlybirds 1-year anniversary event last month in Chicago. Wilson Phillips' enduring anthem, Hold On, playing in the background to a crowd of hundreds.
Susie gets up halfway through our dance parties. Susie talks about her cancer and how her purpose in life right now is to bring joy to others. And it gets very emotional. I'm starting to get a little emotional myself.
Susie Lee was my college roommate, so I think what they've created is just really incredible, especially in this particular moment in our world.
Laura's event is an inclusive space, but it's designed with women, non-binary, and trans people in mind.
It's all women in a place that just feels a little more freeing and uninhibited for us to just be silly, ridiculous, and just have a great time with your girlfriends and celebrate sisterhood.
If you are going somewhere like a bar, you might have to have unwanted interactions. And I think that that's when we talk about women-only spaces as safe spaces, it's more of the freeing up the mental space to be fully present and enjoy yourself.
Kristen Conger hosts Unladylike, a feminist lifestyle podcast.
It's important because in that community, we can not only be ourselves more authentically, but it's just also spaces to learn from one another and kind of be listening ears to each other, give each other pep talks.
Most women are accepting of each other. You're just dancing to the music and letting your body feel the music. And that's really what dancing is about.
And Earlybirds has clearly tapped into something. This is their 4th one in New York City. And in the years since it started, Earlybirds has gone to 3 cities with 6 more on the way. All 20 events have sold out every single time.
I didn't even know how much I needed this. We've had people hugging us and crying and saying, like, what you're doing is so incredible. We do feel compelled to keep going because it means so much to people.
It's very cathartic. People leave there feeling like revitalized.
From her perch atop the DJ stand, Helene sees it all. Her secret sauce? Letting the songs play out.
Because it's all about that nostalgia of like when you were getting ready with your girlfriends in the dorm room. It was, you were probably flipping through or like, I guess, skipping through a CD or rewinding
a tape.
cassette.
A tape.
Yeah. So,
like if we're talking "Let's Go Crazy" by Prince.
Yeah.
You're going dearly beloved. To the very end of that last.
The good vibes extending beyond the party, with 10% of the proceeds of every event going to a local charity.
Where is this club going?
I think it's necessary everywhere. The demand for it is definitely global. This is not just a dance party, this is a movement, this is a community. And so we're not out there to make a ton of money here. It is really just to spread joy.
Our thanks to Stephanie. Up next, King Kong climbed it. Gene Kelly danced on it. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan fell in love in it. Now Nightline takes its place atop New York's most famous landmark.
Congratulations on 45 years, Nightline.
And finally tonight, we celebrate the culmination of Nightline's big 45th anniversary week in the grandest of fashion by energizing, electrifying, and illuminating New York City's most iconic building. Here's Nightline's Ashin Singh.
Those dazzling lights marking so many special moments, global events, and national holidays. And tonight, celebrating one of our own, Nightline's 45th anniversary in cyan and gold. The Empire State Building defining New York's skyline since the 1930s. The iconic Art Deco landmark made famous in movies like King Kong's battle with biplanes and celebrating love in Sleepless in Seattle.
It's you.
We see some of the magic behind the scenes.
They're all the way around the building. They can light in 16 million different colors.
So we're here on the 103rd floor of the Empire State Building, and let me tell you, we are on top of the world right now. And today, honoring Nightline.
I often say, it's not about the stories that Nightline covers, it's how they cover them.
ABC News is comprised of the most gifted journalists, hands down, bar none in the business. And Nightline is without a doubt the gold standard in late night news.
Now to the moment we've been waiting for. 45 years young, and tonight, shining bright. From all of us to you, thanks for staying up with us.
Hooray! Our thanks to Ashin. That's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here, same time Monday. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America. Have a great weekend.